Okay, hi ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we are live. Let me just make sure the audio is good as usual. This was from this afternoon in Georgia at one of the rallies. Absolutely incredible. I am so impressed. I'm so freaking impressed. And okay, the audio sounds really good. Great. Okay. So let's waste no time. I'm gonna give my reaction. I want you guys to see this speech in the full length, which is a little bit over 14 minutes. I am so impressed. I'm like beyond impressed. And honestly, for me, this is probably one of the best supporting speeches for Kamala I've ever seen. On top of that, he really, I think, even for me, showed the stark difference between Kamala and Trump. He also spoke about how he raised through the ranks from being working class, homeless, to basically a billionaire, and everybody in America, especially in the Atlanta, Georgia area, knows how successful Tyler Perry is. So I really wanted to show this because this speech for me just completely just completely and utterly and totally show the difference. Let me just go ahead and put some more tags on the video, and then I'm gonna pull this up, and I'm also going to for those who have not seen the Mark Anthony advert, I'm going to show that Mark Anthony advert after I react to the full speech of Tyler Perry that I'm going to put on right now in a few seconds. So he also, you're going to see him speak about his experiences at Trump Hotel, which I was not expecting. Um, and he uses an analogy between a quilt and a sheet. For those who have not heard that part, that just kind of blew my mind and just really kind of solidified the future and the America that Trump wants versus the America that Kamala supporters and people who are even Republicans who are voting for Kamala want. One of the best speeches, probably if not one of the best I've seen, honestly. So I really hope that the media can give Tyler Perry his credit and his roses and his flowers and his good dues, and can really shine a light on this speech, because this is probably one of the best speeches I've heard that really, in my opinion, well, yeah, sets apart Kamala from Trump. Like, I was blown away. Okay, so let me go ahead and put up the video in a quick second. 1 second. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some more tabs before we begin. And 1 second. So let me go ahead and put that over here. Okay. Let's exit out of this, and we're gonna go to the speech that ABC News had, the full speech. Okay. So that's where it's from. If you guys want to follow along and pull it up on your own end. Also, before we get into that, Charlamagne the God and Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith went to Sean Hannity and spoke up for Kamala, and then finally, Charlamagne the God spoke up for Kamala on CNN, talking about how CNN and especially Anderson Cooper has been more preoccupied with checking if she's so-called black or not versus Trump being a fascist. So finally, we're seeing some big voices from black men who are finally waking up and bringing attention to how dangerous this could turn out, and I really just have the utmost respect, and I'm actually thinking that this is perfect timing, actually, because Charlamagne the God, Stephen A. Smith, and now Tyler Perry to chop it off and top it off and put the cherry on top of this brilliant day of campaigning for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz is just like, wow. I'm blown away. Okay, I'm genuinely blown away, guys, by how incredible, how they've been able to summarize so many issues that they see with, JD Vance and Trump, and summarize it and shrink it and then deliver it from their own perspective, their own experience. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull it up. Alrighty. Let's enjoy, because this is a treat, guys. This is really a treat. And I am just so proud to be able to do this, and just very impressed in general. And it's dinner time, guys. So if you see me eating, don't mind me. Okay, I just got home from getting my dinner. So, but I just felt like this was more important. So let's go ahead and play it. All right. Listen carefully, enjoy. I encourage you to watch the entire speech to get the full context of why he's supporting her, his experience as a Black man in America, and speaking up for Georgia as well. Okay? Here we go.
Hello. I got to tell you, I've been a resident here for a little more than 30 years, so I know a few things about Georgia. What I want to share with you today is that this is where I found the American dream for myself. And lately I found myself having my feet in two different worlds. One where I'm talking to very wealthy people at their table, and then I come to work and I'm talking to people who work for me about everyday problems and everyday issues. So it puts me in a very, very peculiar spot to be able to talk to you. And I'm grateful for that, having my feet in both those worlds, because I still remember what it was like to stand at the Winn-Dixie on Beaufort Highway and have $20 and try to figure out, how do I make this meal work for the week? I know what it's like to have my landlord knocking at the door and I'm in the bed hiding because I don't want him to knock on the door because I know he has an eviction notice. I know what it's like to be homeless here in Georgia. I know what it's like to have to scrape up enough money to get to stay at a pay-by-the-week hotel off of Beaufort Highway. I know what it's like.
At Verizon, every phone can be the new iPhone 16 Pro.
I know what it's like to sleep in my car wrapped in my grandmother's quilt because I had no place to go. I know what it's like to come from work and walk outside and realize that my car has been repossessed. So make no mistake, I know and I remember how hard it is, and I remember the struggle, and I also know, hear me, how expensive it is to be poor. But I also believed in an American dream. And when I was coming here to Georgia, I was looking for inspiration, and there was this show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And there was a man on there that I really admired, I looked up to. He had a helicopter, and his name was on hotels all over the place. He was, hold on just a second, let me get through this so you hear what I'm saying. Young Black men admired him because his name was in rap lyrics. So when I first started making a little money, the first thing I did was checked into the Trump Hotel because I wanted to feel that specialness. But then I started to do my research. Research is important. Truth is important. Facts are important. I found out about a discrimination lawsuit against he and his father because they didn't want people like me in their building. I found out about him taking a full-page ad out on young Black men in the New York Times. I found out about the birther lie. We all heard it, saying that Barack Obama was not born in this country. There are undertones there and there are echoes there that we all had to pay attention to. So I watched him when he won the presidency. I watched him say that there were good people on both sides when neo-Nazis were screaming, "Jews will not replace us." I watched him from the Central Park 5 to Project 2025. And what I realized is that in this Donald Trump America, there is no dream that looks like me. We want a president who believes that this American dream is for everyone. And that president is Kamala Harris. We want a president that understands, like I did in Georgia. When I came here, I didn't have anything, but I had a dream. So I worked, and against all odds, I worked my way to where I am now. It was here in Georgia. See, in Georgia, you know what we do? We don't sit around and complaining. We go to work. It was here where I became a studio owner. My first studio was on Krog Street. Now that is Krog Street Market. And then I bought another studio, which was on Greenbrier, right near Greenbrier Mall on Continental Colony Parkway. And it was there that Barack Obama came in 2012 to do a fundraiser. And he was getting ready to leave, and he said, come ride with me. We're going to my house for a fundraiser. And I'm like, wait, you want me to ride with you and the Beast? So I get in the car, and traffic is stopped, and we're riding, and he's talking to me. And for those of you who are old enough to remember Charlie Brown, all I heard was wah, 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 wah. I finally said, I'm sorry, Mr. President, but I haven't heard a word you've said, because I'm in awe of this country. What a great country that you could become president of the United States. And he turned to me quick as a flash and he said, yes, but what a great country that you could become Tyler Perry. From that moment, I went and I bought a bigger studio. I bought 𝒸𝒂𝓅𝓅 Army Base. Right now, where we hire thousands of people are coming through that doors. And I don't care what was stacked up against me. I don't care. I didn't pay attention to that. What I paid attention to was, how do I help somebody? I broke through that door, laid it down on its side, and let it become a ramp so that somebody else can get higher too. You want to hear something about an American dream? �💂📁 was once a Confederate army base where there were Confederate soldiers trying to plot and plan on how to keep 3.9 million Negroes enslaved. Now that land is owned by me. Let's talk about an American dream. It's seniors working so hard and working seniors working hard. And what I realized when I bought it, that seniors around, their taxes were going through the roof. So what I did was, I was like, no, you're not gonna come here and take these seniors' houses. I paid everybody's taxes up for years so that they can keep their houses. When an 85-year-old woman in 𝒸𝒂𝓅𝓽 County lost her house to a fire and wanted a place for all her grandkids, I rebuilt that house for her. Most recently, I saw in the AJC a story where there was a woman who hired this contractor and he gutted her house and left her there with nothing. She was living in a house with no plumbing and no walls for years. I rebuilt that house for her. Why am I telling you this? I'm not telling you this to be bragging. What I'm telling you about it is, what I want you to understand is I have compassion for our seniors. So when a candidate says that we have lowered the cost of insulin to $35 for seniors, that candidate has my vote. I put many kids through college, and recently there was a woman who was murdered by her husband, and she had 3 kids that were college age. I put all those kids through college. So when I hear a candidate say, we are going to do what we can to reduce student loan debt, that is a candidate that I can stand with. I stand with a candidate who has an American dream for everyone. She stands with us. And she has an American dream for our children. And let me tell you something about the children. I don't know if you remember, but her DNC speech was great, right? But there's a moment that you may have missed. When the cameras were rolling and she was walking around and the balloons are falling and confetti's falling, I'm watching her smile and wave. Her family comes out, but there are 2 little girls on the stage. And I see her constantly making sure they're okay, not getting too close to the edge. That's what you want. See, the little things will tell you about the heart of a person. In that speech, she talked about how we have more in common than what separates us. So, Georgia, I want to put that to the test. I didn't have a father who gave me millions of dollars to start a business. Did you?
Nope.
Didn't think so. Nope. My mother didn't have some great legacy, but she taught me how to pray my way through a situation. It sounds like we have that in common. I'm the kind of American that believes in a secure border, but at the same time believes that if anyone is coming seeking legal asylum, our arms should be open to them. I'm the kind of American that believes that if you are running for office, you shouldn't sink and tank a bipartisan bill to help the border so that you could use it for your own glory. If you are like me, I worked my ass off to buy my first house and build my business and take care of my family. That is the American dream. I believe if you work that hard and you put into Social Security, when you get to a certain age, that you put in should be there waiting for you. Absolutely. Because it's yours.
Absolutely.
Soft drinks are just $1 at Wendy's. Any
4, 3, 2, and 1.
I believe that we all should have affordable health care and it not be replaced with the concept of a plan. What the hell? I'm the kind of American that believes that no matter what your party, we ought to be able to sit down and have civil conversation so that we can work toward a solution, the same as I do with our governor, Brian Kemp. I'm the kind of man that believes, I'm the kind of man that believes that the government nor a man should be telling a woman what she can and cannot do with her body. I'm the kind of American who believes that poll workers should do their civic duty without being harassed and threatened like Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss in Fulton County.
That's right.
And I am not the kind of American that glories in, enjoys, laughs at, or celebrates an 80-year-old man being hit with a hammer because his wife is in politics and you don't agree with her. And two things can be true at once. I am not the kind of man that glory in, celebrates, enjoy, or laughs at a 78-year-old former president almost meeting his death at an assassin's bullet in Butler's, Pennsylvania. It's not right. It's about decency, America, and I think you agree with me. But I am the kind of American that believes if you lose an election, that you honor the constitutional, peaceful transfer of power. And judging by your reaction, I believe Kamala is right. We have more in common than what separates us. As I'm closing here, I just want to talk about that quilt that I used to wrap up in my grandmother's car, that quilt that my grandmother gave me. That quilt was a tapestry of beautiful pieces, but I completely ignored it. I didn't think it was worth anything because she had made it from all of these stitches and gave it to me as a gift. And I was walking past this antique store years later and I saw one in the window and I go, wow, that's a beautiful quilt. It reminds me of my grandmother. So I walk in, I talk to the lady. She started explaining to me that each patch in that quilt was worth this and meant this because of the woman who made it. So when I think about America, I think about my grandmother's quilt. We are all shapes, sizes, and colors, but we are one.
Now listen to this part, because this is when it gets real, okay? This is when it gets real.
And it was so important for me to stand with a candidate who understands that we as America, we are a quilt. And I could never stand with a candidate who wants America to be a sheet.
Gonna replay that.
Sizes and colors, but we are one. And it was so important for me to stand with a candidate who understands that we as America, we are a quilt. And I could never stand with a candidate who wants America to be a sheet. So
What did you
today,
say, Tyler Perry? Let me just hear that one more good time. Let me just hear what you just said, honey. One more time. One more time first. One more time.
America, I think about my grandmother's quilt. We are all shapes, sizes, and colors, but we are one. And it was so important for me to stand with a candidate who understands that we as America, we are a quilt. And I could never stand with a candidate who wants America to be a sheet. So today, I voted for Kamala Harris. And Georgia, it was only about 11,400 votes that separated Trump and Biden. So every vote counts. So I stand here, full-throated, with my full chest, begging you, imploring you, let's get out and make Kamala Harris
I'm loving
the
this,
47th president of the United
Come on.
States of America. Thank you, everybody. God bless you.
Incredible. Incredible. I have to give an applause for that, guys. I'm sorry. That was incredible. So guess what? On that note, we're about to take it to church, okay? That video at New Birth Church has over 80,000, well, basically 83,000 views to be more specific. And I think this is a perfect segue. So what I will do is play this, and then to top it off, I'm going to play the Mark Anthony endorsement and advertisement, okay? Because I think that all three of those videos tie in perfectly into what has been an amazing day, especially black men finally not being afraid of losing their jobs or getting any kind of criticism. I'm very, very proud that there has been a lot of key black men speakers who've been able to use their voice effectively and against all odds and against all, doubters and naysayers, in strength, speak their mind and, finally express why they think that this is, such an important election. And I think there was some part in that speech where Tyler Perry spoke upon the fact that it was 11,000 or 14,000 votes difference that got Biden in versus Trump. So when you think that your vote doesn't matter, I'm telling you, it's a lie. Okay, your vote absolutely matters. So like I said, vote.org, vote.org. Okay, they have different other websites and apps you can use in the App Store to look up your local candidates as well as the presidential candidates. But seriously, guys, like this is probably the best, like one of the best speeches, like easily that I've seen. Just bring home, the stark differences between a Kamala America versus a Trump America. And so if that fact or that number that he pulled up is even close to being true, then yes, that further shows that every vote absolutely matters. And so sitting it out because you can't make up your mind or you're not sure is not good enough, guys. Okay, every vote counts. Yes, your vote counts. All right, so let's go ahead, and I think it's time to take it to church. All right, this is actually such an incredible word that Pastor Jamal Bryant has given at the church he presides over, which is New Birth Church in also again Atlanta, Georgia. So this is tying into the kind of Georgia energy. So I think I wasn't planning to do this, but I think this is like a perfect time. So let's go ahead and pull that up. I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to play the entire block of when he preaches, and then to top it off, we're going to close with Mark Anthony's advertisement for those who have not seen it already, and you've not been able to see that. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this up. Alrighty, I'm ready. Let's go to church, y'all.
2023, Forbes magazine found out in 2023 that the best leaders are women, because women have authenticity, women have honesty, women have agility, and women have integrity. But here's what I want you to understand about Mordecai is Mordecai understood that in order for the nation to be changed, a woman had to do it. And Mordecai was man enough to know that in order for me to be a man, I got to know how to support a woman. Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister. It was a sister that raised you. It was a sister that taught you how to read. It was a sister that taught you how to bathe yourself. It was a sister that raised you when other people were not around. It takes a real man to support a real woman, and I'm so glad I got some real men in this building who are not intimidated by educated women, are not intimidated by articulate women, who are not intimidated by women who are anointed to lead.
Come on now.
And he goes
for church, y'all.
This man from the White House, he goes to Esther and says to Esther, who knows, but you were born for such a time as this. I don't know who's here. I know there are thousands of you who are online, but I'm not preaching to y'all for just one moment. Can I just preach to the vice president? Who knew that 60 years ago today, you were born to be president? You were born to lead a nation. You were born to change the trajectory of democracy. Who knows? But you were born for such a time as this.
Come on now.
One of the great challenges in this world is knowing enough about a subject.
Skip.
You may be seated. Victor Hugo said, an invasion of armies can be resisted, but nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. No matter what they try, they cannot stop what is getting ready to happen. They can try to purge the rolls. They can make it illegal for you to bring water and bring chairs to our seniors. They can move the polling stations. They can try to hand count the ballots. But they didn't know we are already on the midnight train in Georgia. Over 1 million people have already participated in early voting in Georgia. I know he's in jail. I know I shouldn't quote him, but I thought I told you that we can't stop. If God has anointed us to flip the state once, we can do it again, because if God be for us, who can be against us? This is an idea that cannot be stopped. Good ideas are of no value if they come at the wrong time. But I came to preach to somebody today to let you know this is the right time. The idea for electric cars has been around for 50 years, but we did not have battery technology, and we did not have a full grasp of climate change. But we are now in a place where President Biden has, in fact, offered up legislation that in not too many years there will be enough electric cars on the road in order to shrink our footprint in the earth. I need you to know nothing can stop your idea. The pandemic could not stop your idea. A divorce could not stop your idea. Bad credit could not stop your idea. Cancer stage 3 could not stop your idea. Racial profiling could not stop your idea. White supremacists could not stop your idea. After all that you've been through, you are alive for a reason to make an impact in the earth. I don't want you to shout today for cars, clothes, or money. I want you to shout for your idea that whatever you've been dreaming about is getting ready to come to pass. I want you to shout for the book you are going to write, for the nonprofit that you are going to start, for the real estate that you are going to buy, for the mentorship that you are about to begin. The folk around you don't know how long you've been thinking about it, but if you know you are excited about the idea God has given you, I need you to give God thanksgiving that this is the season for your idea to come to pass.
Yes. Woo! Yes. Yes.
You may be seated.
Come on now.
Newton's first law is whatever is in motion stays in motion. I'm telling you, what it is that you are getting ready to start today cannot be stopped. There are people who have been trying to stop you for the last 3 years. It was not your good looks or your education or your LinkedIn profile, but God had a plan for your life while you were still in your mother's womb. Every now and again, you ought to think about every force in the universe that tried to stop you from getting to this moment. But you're still breathing as a testimony that whatever God decides for your life, it is getting ready to come to pass. Yes. You don't even understand. You are sitting next to somebody who is a world changer and a history maker. They don't know how much value they have in their life. If nothing has tried to stop you, you are not destined. But if you had to fight through hell and high water just to get to where you are today, I need you to shout as an overcomer that no weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper.
Come on now. Woo! Yes. Come on now.
Mordecai went and saw Esther and said to Esther, you don't have the right to remain silent.
That part.
If you are silent in this moment, your family will not survive. This is not the time for y'all to be bougie and stuck up. Generations of your unborn family are waiting to see what are you going to do next.
I'm sorry, y'all. I have to pause that and replay that. I'm sorry. You need to hear what he's saying. We need to literally take in what he is saying, okay?
But we are now in a place where President Biden has, in fact, offered up legislation that in not too many years, there will be enough electric cars on the road in order to shrink our footprint in the earth. I need you to know nothing can stop your idea. The pandemic could not stop your idea. A divorce could not stop your idea. Bad credit could not stop your idea. Cancer stage 3 could not stop your idea. Racial profiling could not stop your idea. White supremacists could not stop your idea. After all that you've been through, you are alive for for a reason to make an impact in the earth. I don't want you to shout today for cars, clothes, or money. I want you to shout for your idea that whatever you've been dreaming about is getting ready to come to pass. I want you to shout for the book you are going to write, for the nonprofit that you are going to start, for the real estate that you are going to buy, for the mentorship that you are about to begin. The folk around you don't know how long you've been thinking about it, but if you know you are excited about the idea God has given you, I need you to give God thanksgiving that this is the season for your idea to come to pass. You may be seated.
Let it go in, honey.
Newton's first law is whatever is in motion stays in motion. I'm telling you, what it is that you are getting ready to start today cannot be stopped. There are people who have been trying to stop you for the last 3 years. It was not your good looks or your education or your LinkedIn profile, but God had a plan for your life while you were still in your mother's womb. Every now and again, you ought to think about every force in the universe that tried to stop you from getting to this moment. But you're still breathing as a testimony that whatever God decides for your life, it is getting ready to come to pass. You don't even understand. You are sitting next to somebody who is a world changer and a history maker. They don't know how much value they have in their life. If nothing has tried to stop you, you are not destined. But if you had to fight through hell and high water just to get to where you are today, I need you to shout as an overcomer that no weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper.
I got chills, man. I got chills.
Mordecai went and saw Esther and said to Esther, you don't have the right to remain silent. If you are silent,
and that's exactly why I'm on here. Because we don't have the right to remain silent at such a time as this. Proceed.
In this moment, your family will not survive. This is not the time for y'all to be bougie and stuck up. Generations of your unborn family are waiting to see what are you going to do next. If you don't care about the generation that comes behind you, then you ain't got to listen to the rest of this message. But if you are excited for what your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and your great-great-great-grandchildren are gonna do, I need you to open up your mouth that your children won't know student loans. I need you to shout out loud that there'll be no addiction in your family. I need you to scream that cancer will be cured in your lifetime. Don't wait till the battle is over. Shout right now for what's getting ready to happen. Says you can't afford to be quiet. If you are quiet now, your family will not survive this. If you don't say anything in this moment, you do not have a bright future. This is the largest demographic of black people since our history in America who are claiming that they are not going to vote. It is important for you to be mindful. It is also the largest demographic of black people who don't go to church. Y'all just missed what I just said. There is a disconnect because when it is that you vote, you are exercising your faith. And they've been trying to stop us from moving. Dogs don't bark over parked cars. They only go after cars that are moving. Black people, ask yourself, why are they working so hard to stop us from voting? In 2020 was the largest voter turnout in history. And in democracy, they should be excited about that many people going out to vote. But when they realized that the largest voting bloc in America is black women, they said there must be a revolution that is getting ready to happen. Because when black women roll up their sleeves, then society has got to change. I don't need everybody to yell, but I need the super bad sisters in this room who know you were born to change the world. You were born to make a difference. You were born to make an impact.
Yes, yes, yes.
Says you cannot be silent in this moment. You got to do something. And when she realized she was born for this moment, she immediately sprang into action. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, because you know you were born for this moment, you can't spend all your time scrolling through Instagram. Because you were born for this moment. There's more to life than TikTok. Because you were born for this moment. You got to do more than watch Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. But your great-grandmothers who never had a college degree couldn't read their way out of a wet paper bag. Your grandmothers were able to say, if I can help somebody, as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or with a song, then my living is not in vain. I want to challenge you today. After we leave this place, all of us are going to the polls to vote. Come on, y'all didn't shout right there.
This is a ChatGPT for Airbnb. This new
No, honey, we don't need no chat GPT over here, honey. Bye.
But after it is that you vote, I need you to sit down and figure out your strategy. What were you born to do? Why did God keep you alive when over 2 million people died of COVID? Why did God keep you alive? When black people lead in death of every disease, why did God keep you alive? When there were drunk drivers in the car next to you, why did God keep you alive? I need you to take some time this week and start writing out your business plan. Figure out your strategy, how you're going to college, even if you got to go online. Start looking for houses that have foreclosed that you're going to buy and give to your children. Every Japanese family has a 100-year plan. And the Heritage Foundation has a Project 2025, but you have no agenda. What is your strategy that 4 years from now you want to see your family wear? You want to see your children wear? What will it profit for us if we elect a black woman president and a black family don't have an agenda? You got to figure out for yourself that Shakespeare was right. To thine own self be true. There is something that you are called to do, something you were created to do. There's more to your life than paying bills.
That's right.
There's more to your life than working for somebody else.
Hello.
I read a poem the other day that I wanted to give to you today. And that poem is called Do It Anyway. And if you are kind, people are going to accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. When you spend your years building, someone can destroy it overnight. Build it anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous, but be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget it on tomorrow, but do good anyway. In the final analysis is between you and your God.
Yes.
What was never been between you and them, it is only between you and the divine. And as a consequence, you got to do it anyway. Those of you who are making a commitment that no matter how difficult it becomes in your life, as of this day, you are committed to do it anyway. Would you give God glory for it even right now? I want you to lift up your hands. You know, New Birth, you know what we do softly, musicians. I'm almost finished. I want you to lift up your hand. I want to speak something over you. And I hope you'll celebrate around it. I hope you'll respond to it. Those of you who are online, I want you to lift up your hand. Listen to me. I declare over every lifted hand that you will not die until you do what you were born to do. God, I can't hear nobody in here. I speak over every lifted hand that God will give you the strength to make an impact in our community. I declare over every lifted hand, you'll do what your mother didn't even know was possible. That you'll go where nobody in your family has ever dreamed or imagined. I declare over every lifted hand that everything you went through in your past was preparation for your future. I speak over every lifted hand, and I hope that you'll shout about it, that God will anoint you today to do what you gave up on. God will anoint you today to accomplish what you thought it was too late for you to conquer. I declare and decree that God will force people who don't like you to help you. And it will get done in Jesus' name. Those of you who believe that you are a history maker and a world changer, would you give God glory for it right now? I want you right where it is that you are. I want you to stretch your right hands towards our Vice President.
Absolutely.
Who knows? But you were born for such a time as this. I wish at the end of my life, the only thing they can find wrong with me is how I laugh.
Better say that. Better say that.
Lord, in the name of Jesus, I pray a hedge fence of protection around your daughter. No hurt, harm, or danger. I pray that you'll assign 100,000 angels to cover her head. Thank you, dear Lord, that you have given her this moment to defy the odds in front of the entire world. Now, God, not for her name, but we promise we're going to give you all of the victory. Not by might, not by power, but only by your spirit. And those of you who believe that Kamala Harris was born for this moment, would you give God glory for her even in this? I'm waiting for the prayer warriors to open up your mouth.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and
She's moving from this place. She's moving from this place. We've got 2.5 weeks. We got 2.5 weeks. But I want her to remember in fond recollection that in Atlanta, Georgia, they prayed for her, that they covered her, and that they strengthened her. Ladies and gentlemen, as she moves to her next location, I don't want you just to shout. I want to shift the atmosphere because this ain't a rally all over the room. I've prayed, but I want to know what it sounds like when 4,000 people pray. Would you lift up your hand and open up your mouth and just begin praying for this amazing woman of God? Come on, open up your mouth. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Come on, you only got 30 seconds left. Hallelujah. You only got 10 seconds left. Come on, Zion, we're a prayer church. We serve a prayer answering God. If God can't do it, then it can't get done. In him, there is no failure.
Spirit.
Our God can do anything but fail.
My God.
And for that, we praise him. For that, we give him honor. For that, we give him thanksgiving. And those of you who are grateful, would you join me in giving God praise of thanksgiving right now? I want you to do me a favor, please. I want you to just hug two people around you, tell them you were born to do something great.
We're going to do something great.
You were born to do something significant.
Do something significant.
You were born to change the world.
We're going to change the world.
Listen to me.
Yes.
Please, listen to me. Listen to me. Shh. Listen to me. I'm trying to help you. You shouldn't even try to sneak out. You ain't going to be able to leave the parking lot. You might as well just stay right where you are. You're going to play yourself. It's all shut down. Just stay right where it is that you are. You still don't believe me. You're going to find out. Amen. I don't want you to think Secret Service is the Nation of Islam. This is that they really doing security out here. Listen to me. I want you to stay right where it is that you are. Those of you who believe that you were born for a reason, would you lift up that hand? There's an African proverb that I want to share with you today. The African proverb says there's two important days in every person's life. The first day is the day that you were born. The second day is the day you realize why you were born. Ladies and gentlemen, today is your second day. Today is the day where it all makes sense. I'm going to open up this altar. Listen to me. Those of you on the balcony, those of you on the floor, and those of you who are online. There are those of you who can hear my voice who need to know that you were born to do something and you cannot die until you get it done. Wherever you are in this place, listen to me. I'm going to tell you, so there's no strings attached. There's no gaslighting that's taking place. I'm going to let you know from the door. I want to be your pastor. I want you to know straight up and down. I want New Birth to be your church. All
right, guys, I think there's some more praise and worship at the end. Just going to fast forward. I think there is. Let's see. Let me see. I don't think there is even.
Able to reach 10.
Oh, just more prayers. Okay, that was incredible. That was incredible. That was not planned. I was not going to include that in this video, so I'm going to have to change the clip art because the clip art only has Tyler Perry in it, but I'm going to put Tyler Perry and Pastor Jamal Bryant because it's all connecting. It's all connecting. And every single word that he said, I believe wholeheartedly. And it is time. It is time, America. It is time. And you know, if we blow this opportunity, if we blow this special moment, you know, we may never get this moment again, you know, again. So I'm just so happy that I've been able to share this with you all, especially live. Thank you to all the live viewers as well, and all the thumbs up. God bless you. I really appreciate it. And share the video, guys. Share the video wherever you can share it. Okay, it's important. And so let's go ahead and close with the Mark Anthony advert for those who have not seen it as promised. And then that's it. The video is over, guys. Okay, so I love you all so much. I did my part. I've been able to cover this the way that I wanted to cover it because, you know, like I said, we've never had this happen ever. The last time we had a woman run was with Hillary Clinton. And we all saw what happened after that, right? So we've never had this in this way. So I think that in general, there would have been nothing else I would have loved to do than to be able to cover this on my channel and have this forever to be able to look back on, regardless of what happens in November. I will be able to have these videos with you all and mark this as a time in history, or her story, as I should want to put, that is very, very special. No one can deny that this is a very, very special election. A very, very topsy-turvy turn of the century kind of year. I think 2024 has been a very, very momentous year. And so it's my honor. It was my honor, guys, to share this with you all and have some praise and worship. In fact, I wonder if they would let me play the praise and worship. Probably not, right? Because maybe the praise and worship has some copyright. I would have loved to have played some of the music. But that's for those of you who want to watch it. Hi, baby. 1 second, guys. He wants to see what I'm talking about. You want to say hi to the people? You want to say hi? Since he's purring, he's being spoiled. Here's my oldest fur baby. Say hi, y'all. You're on the green screen, babe. This is London. Probably you can't see his face because of green screen. But he is a sweet bear. So I love him very much. Okay, he said hi to you guys. All right, let's finish with the Mark Anthony advert that I think is also brilliant and speaks to the Hispanic population. And you know, this is also that was also a pivotal moment for Kamala's campaign, was with Mark Anthony. And I think Mark Anthony, Tyler Perry, and Pastor Jamal Bryant, for me, have just been the standouts. You know, the way they've been able to articulate from the heart how they feel about how Trump has offended them, has offended his people. I just think in general, like, they really speak from the heart, and I can relate to what they're saying. I agree with what they're saying. And it's important. It's very, very important for people of all backgrounds, of all ethnicities, to share, you know, why they're supporting her. So yes, guys, let's go ahead and end the night with this, or the morning whenever you're watching, but now for me it's nighttime. Let's go ahead and play this, okay? And then the video will end. The video will close by itself automatically, all right? Thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy.
Though some have forgotten, this is Mark Anthony. Even though some have forgotten, I remember what it was like when Trump was president. I remember what he did and he said about Puerto Rico, about our people. Puerto Rico. I remember after Hurricane Maria devastated our island, Trump blocked billions in relief while thousands died. I remember when our families lacked clean water and electricity, Trump threw paper towels and called Puerto Rico dirty and poor. I was not surprised, because I also remember that he launched his campaign by calling Latinos criminals and rapists. He told us what he'll do. He'll separate children from their families and threaten to use the army to do it. This election goes way beyond political parties. Let's remember what the United States represents and stands for. United, regardless of where we're from. I am Mark
message.
Anthony. Even though some have forgotten, I remember what it was like when Trump was president. I remember what he did and he said about Puerto Rico, about our people. Puerto Rico. I remember after Hurricane Maria devastated our island, Trump blocked billions in relief while thousands died. I remember when our families lacked clean water and electricity, Trump threw paper towels and called Puerto Rico dirty and poor. I was not surprised, because I also remember that he launched his campaign by calling Latinos criminals and rapists. He told us what he'll do. He'll separate children from their families and threaten to use the army to do it. This election goes way beyond political parties. Let's remember what the United States represents and stands for. United, regardless of where we're from. I am Mark Anthony and I remember. That's why I support Kamala Harris for president.
I'm Kamala Harris and I approve this message.
This is Mark Anthony. Even though some have forgotten, I remember what it was like when Trump was president. I remember what he did and he said about Puerto Rico, about our people. Puerto Rico. I remember after Hurricane Maria devastated our island, Trump blocked billions in relief while thousands died. I remember when our families lacked clean water and electricity, Trump threw paper towels and called Puerto Rico dirty and poor. I was not surprised, because I also remember that he launched his campaign by calling Latinos criminals and rapists. He told us what he'll do. He'll separate children from their families and threaten to use the army to do it. This election goes way beyond political parties. Let's remember what the United States represents and stands for. United, regardless of where we're from. I am Mark Anthony, and I remember. That's why I support Kamala Harris for president.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.